first stream on YouTube. Excellent connection.
Oh, perfect. Hello, everybody. I'm gonna put this actually down here, I think.
Stream settings.
Oh yeah, that's better.
Hold on, let me do something. Stream customization, live chat, slow, cancel. I want to see if I can turn up the resolution of this. Oh, okay.
Now we're looking good.
We're looking great. Okay. Okay, so today we are looking at Jeff Nippard. This is Angel's favorite baby.
This is my favorite fitness influencer. If anybody's not following Jeff Nippard or hasn't heard of him, you must be living under a rock. But this guy is pretty sweet in my opinion. So yeah, we're gonna check him out and let you guys know what we think.
This is my first time streaming on YouTube. I've streamed on Twitch before, but you know, this is going to be very interesting in the fact that I want to see how this goes. What kind of tools do I get to work with? My hair, I kind of just showered. Hence the robe. I got the hams of the look. Come on.
So is scene...
Yeah, scene one would be...
Oh!
Yeah, it'd be a little
Look at that! Undead is hooking us up with the sick Twitch technology. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, we're just setting up here, and well, I guess this will be on the video, so it's gonna be fucking real annoying for people like starting videos like, what the fuck is going on? Okay, so explain Jeff Nippard. Who is he?
Jeff Nippard is a science-based natural bodybuilder. I think he's natty, but you know, some people may not. I think he is, but maybe that's just a fanboy in me. Yeah, he has really good videos on anything muscle building, training related. As you can see, he has 4 million subscribers, so kind of makes sense. Each one of his videos gets a lot of views.
We gotta pull these out. We gotta pull these bad boys out. Let me just share this stream to our viewers on Discord because they don't get automatic notifications just yet. So I'll be just doing that real quick.
Where I will be educating you on the gifts of Jeff Nippard. Anyway, yeah, this is content. He makes a lot of content on building muscle, staying lean, anything like that. So I guess we'll go through his most viewed video and review it.
How can you build muscle and lose fat at the same time? A lot of people on the internet think the answer is simple. You can't. If you want to build muscle, you need to do a proper bulk, and if you want to lose fat, you need to do a proper cut. I think this idea has made its way into the mainstream from old bodybuilding lore, where it was thought that you had to be in a massive caloric surplus to build size and then trim down for competition. But recent scientific evidence has challenged this idea. For example, this 2013 study from Garth and colleagues found that even when they overfed subjects by 600 extra calories per day,
we're currently educating the youth of today on the greatness of Jeff Nippard.
I gotta be hearing this. Holy shit, look at those numbers.
Lots of numbers.
They actually didn't gain significantly more muscle, but did gain over 3 times the fat mass. So nearly all the extra bulk came as fat. Now, I should say I don't actually have anything against cutting and bulking. In the right circumstances, I think it makes perfect sense. And many of you guys know, last year I ran a pretty hefty bulk myself that I called bear mode. And I still think that if you want to gain as much muscle and strength as possible, as fast as possible, then being in a bigger caloric surplus is the way to go. However, this quicker muscle gain will come at the expense of more fat gain as well. And many people simply don't want that, but just accept it as an inevitability. But it doesn't have to be that way. In fact, it's perfectly possible to build muscle without a large surplus or even without any surplus at all, because fat tissue and muscle...
I am actually very curious how they actually know this is like main gaining or kind of thing.
Yeah, he's talking about body recomposition in this video. So how to lose muscle and build, or how to build...
How to lose muscle, be a Jeffrey.
How to build muscle and lose fat at the same time.
muscle tissue are separate systems, and I've broken down the math explaining why this is possible in another video that I'll link below. Now, many people will get on board with this and say, okay, building muscle while losing fat is possible, but not really practical because it only applies in a handful of more limited and obscure scenarios. But I think these scenarios aren't as limited as they seem, and I would say body recomposition is a realistic goal not only for some people, but nearly all people. So let's quickly cover the situations where I think recomposition makes the most sense. First of all, new lifters. Newbies can build muscle and lose fat at the same time quite easily because as a new lifter...
Even this guy was yoked a new lifter.
New
lifter.
He's got my genes.
He's just absolutely yoked.
You're the most primed for muscle growth you'll ever be. This means that calories can be pulled from stored body fat to fuel the muscle building process with just basic progressive resistance training and a reasonable diet. Second, because overweight individuals have very large energy reserves stored in body fat, they can eat in a caloric deficit and still have plenty of stored energy to fuel the muscle building process. Thirdly, detrained individuals who got jacked before but then stopped training due to injury or other commitments are in a similar camp to the new trainee, where, owing to the very powerful muscle memory effect, they're able to rebuild a lot of muscle very quickly, making recomposition common. And finally, using anabolic steroids allows most people to build a lot of muscle very quickly, allowing the body to tap into fat stores to fuel muscle building. But at this point,
I posted my year progress that you made onto my Snapchat group chat, and some guy I don't talk to very much said I was on SARMs. I'm like, my ego.
So we'd love to hear that from our one viewer. Do we think Undead is on SARMs? You never know. He definitely could be.
I mean, if you look at the year progress, it definitely might look like it.
Shall we bring up your progress picture?
In Discord? Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh god, we're about to get doxxed.
I know, we have to switch scenes. Aha, there we go. Our one viewer ain't gonna dox us. Where do we just click view the pictures?
Was it on, did he post it on here? I don't think he did. I think he posted it on Brothers.
I wanna just go to save image.
No, we're just like pulling this.
There we go. So, anyway, this is, there we go. So this is before, maybe SARMs, we don't know yet. And this is after. So, I don't know, look at his face. It looks a little sus, doesn't it?
It looks a little Jeffrey to me, I don't know about you.
So this was Undead's 1 year transformation though. From all the mewing and tongue posturing. Or whatever it is.
And the dick sucking, that's what it was.
Anyway, we thought we'd share that with you guys. Back on subject.
Back on subject.
I would say even if recomposition were limited to these 4 groups, walk into any commercial gym and most people will fall into one of these 4 categories. For example, even if you've been in the gym for several years, you might still fall under the newbie category if you haven't been training nearly hard enough or smart enough over the years. I'd also add a 5th category to this list, the sub-optimized trainee. This would include anyone who's been going to the gym for a while, may even count themselves as an intermediate or advanced level lifter by training age, but deep down hasn't really been putting in their best effort with their training or nutrition. And according to my good friend and co-author Chris Barakat, he sees recomposition in his lab all the time, even in more advanced trainees.
So I literally see this every single semester. Every training study we've ever ran, I've seen body recomposition occur. Once we really start paying attention to some of the details to a higher extent, like nutrient timing and really optimizing their macronutrient intakes, we can see recomposition with some of the best athletes ever. This one subject in particular, he gained 20 pounds of lean mass in 10 weeks, and he actually lost like a pound of fat mass at the same time. So he was a basketball player, pretty well trained when it comes to resistance training. He was able to squat 1.75 times his body weight, so he fit the criteria for the study, and he just blew up. He basically came in the lab looking like a normal basketball player, and then he looked like Phil Heath playing basketball.
So I think there's really only a tiny subset of the population that recomposition wouldn't be practical for. Truly advanced trainees already with perfectly optimized training and nutrition who are near their genetic ceiling for muscle growth. But in my opinion, this is the obscure scenario, and it only occupies a tiny sliver of the total population looking to improve their physique. Okay, so body recomposition is not only common, but practical. Now, how do we do it? Let's break it down into 5 simple steps. First, you need to recognize that training is the driving force of body recomposition in any scenario. You can have the most optimal diet in the world, eat over 9,000 grams of protein per day, and you still won't build much new muscle without a progressive training stimulus. In the book, we use the analogy of a car, where we can think of our training as the engine and our nutrition as the gasoline.
Describe.
Pretty much. What do you think about the video so far?
I think it's so well thought out, and it has like a lot of science behind it. And it also like makes me think of, am I training optimally? Like, I'm really thinking I should be lifting smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
I'm really thinking oh no, we're not reviewing the stream. No, it's gonna have an infinite feedback loop.
You were saying?
Like, I have to be like lifting a lot smarter rather than harder, because I do definitely lift like pretty hard, but I'm not showing as much gains as I did like before when I was a newbie lifter. And so I might have to change how I work out to show any progress.
Mm-hmm.
As a girl, then maybe your primary goal should be to lose fat. Once you've decided on your primary goal, next you want to center your caloric intake around maintenance calories, the number of calories you need to eat to maintain your weight. If your primary goal is to build muscle, you should enter a slight caloric surplus, adding 5 to 25% to your maintenance intake. If you're leaner, less advanced, and more genetically gifted for building muscle, you can get away with a bigger surplus. If your primary goal is to lose fat, you should enter a slight caloric deficit, slashing 10 to 20% off your maintenance intake. The more fat you have to lose, the bigger the deficit should be. And in the book, we outline...
I think this kind of gives a pretty good outline of Jeff Nippard. What are your thoughts?
I dig him, you know. I know you do like some of his workout routines.
Yeah, I follow his programs.
And how do you like the results from it?
Well, I don't know. Maybe you guys should tell me. But I think I love his programs. I think he gives. I think I get pretty decent results. But you guys can see my physique in the videos, so. Y'all gotta let me know. But personally, yeah, I think Jeff Nippard gives great results. He's a great YouTuber. I recommend anyone to follow his programs for whatever your goal is. He has everything.
What does your workout routine look like?
So right now I'm following his power building split, which it's a little different than most bros go the traditional push-pull legs. But we're actually doing a full body squat day, a full body deadlift day, a pump day, an arm day, and then a full body squat day and a full body deadlift day 1 week. And then we do a push pull legs the other week. So it's alternating between 5 and 6 days per week on that split, with all the exercises and all of the everything changing, if you will, as it goes on. But I've been seeing pretty decent results with it so far, and yeah, I'm going to stick it out.
Would you recommend someone switching from push-pull legs to a Jeff Nippard program?
Well, see, Jeff Nippard also has a push-pull legs program, so you just follow his. One thing that really helped me in my fitness journey, progressing from just like an intermediate to an advanced lifter, was tracking my lifts and also doing a planned progression. So most new lifters, you can just slap on weight whenever you want and you'll make gains pretty easy. But what I found is eventually that ran out. So once I started following Jeff Nippard's programs, and you'd think we have an affiliate link, but you know, we don't. But once I started following a planned program and wrote down my list, and he has planned progression, I started to see that kind of second wave of strength and muscle growth. So yeah.
That's pretty like amazing. How did you discover Jeff Nippard?
Well, the YouTube algorithm fed him to me.
Fed him to me, that's lucky.
The gods from above, the YouTube gods blessed me with his presence.
Because honestly, I didn't even know who Jeff Nippard was before.
Really?
Like, yep.
What are your initial thoughts?
I really like how simple and easy his videos are to describe. They explain things pretty easily.
Yeah.
But I'm really looking to see how his workout routines, like how does he program people?
Like how does he? Yeah. That makes sense. Well, what do you think about when you're working out with me? What do you think about my workouts?
I get kind of confused of like how, like, cause there's a lot of different body groups, right?
Yeah.
And so they went straight from like deadlifts to a bicep curl. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck is this guy doing?
Yeah, I think that's a common fitness myth that a lot of people don't quite understand. I was a personal trainer for about a year. I'm all certified, all that stuff. And some people are like, oh, I can't do full body. I can't do the same muscle group 2 days in a row. That's all kind of BS. The truth is you can hit full body 5 days a week if you feel like it. There's actually a lot of benefits to that instead of just, I have to just hit chest one day and blast the crap out of my chest. There's actually a lot of evidence to suggest otherwise.
Is there any other video you would like to highlight?
If you click this video.
Yeah, Jeff Nippard. He actually has a video.
Full body 5 days a week.
Full body 5 days a week. This is gonna trigger a couple of you gym bros, but
this is the training split I've been running for the last 6 months, and I think it's great. Now, when I explain this setup to your average gym bro, they tend to look at me like I've got 10 heads.
But stick with it. You guys will see.
Sometimes they'll suggest that body part splits make more sense, where you just destroy 1 or 2 muscles a day and then give them a full week of rest to let the muscles grow. And while this clearly can work, I think there are much better options out there. One option would be the push-pull leg split, where you're at least hitting each muscle twice a week, something highlighted in the scientific literature as being better for muscle growth. Upper-lower splits are also solid, and while full-body training is relatively popular, most people seem to think of it as a beginner's routine where you're only training 2, maybe 3 days a week, which is exactly why this split stands out so much. There just seems to be something wrong about hitting every muscle every day, except there isn't. Now, I was first introduced to this style of training exactly 3 years ago in an interview that I did with Menno Henselmans, where he explained that optimal training frequency is different for beginners than it is for advanced trainees.
If you are a beginner, then most research shows that there is actually no benefit to training a muscle group more than once a week. Hitting each body part once a week, that works very well for beginners. But as you get more advanced, the time course that you can elevate muscle protein balance, that period basically decreases as you get more advanced.
So basically, after you lift weights, there's a period of time when muscle protein synthesis increases and the muscle becomes more sensitive to amino acids. This is why your muscle grows in the first place. And research tells us that that response stays elevated for about 2 days or so in new lifters, but actually returns to near baseline after just 12 hours or so in more experienced trainees. So the original theory was that if you're a well-trained lifter, the more frequently you can hit a muscle, the more spikes you'll see in muscle protein synthesis, and the better muscle growth you'll get as a result. But the question is, do these more frequent spikes in muscle protein synthesis actually add up to produce more muscle growth over time? Well, that's a very good and very
I actually didn't know that it was actually good to work out a full body every day. I thought you lose gains. That's...
You would think it goes against a lot of bro science, but yeah, working out full body every day can actually produce better results only if you're a trained lifter. Untrained, as you saw before, it didn't matter. Also, to our viewers, if you guys have any, goodbye. But if you guys have any questions on muscle building or whatever and have any questions, feel free to let us know.
controversial
Yeah,
question.
either message us directly through the stream if you're watching.
Well, ideally.
Ideally, but yeah, if you're watching the video, for sure, like, hit us up with a comment.
Then we're able to interact with our viewers.
Some skeptics have pointed out that these studies only measured mixed muscle protein synthesis, which isn't as relevant for building contractile muscle tissue as myofibrillar muscle protein synthesis. Also in 2014, one group of researchers really flipped this theory on its head, claiming that acute protein synthesis doesn't even correlate with hypertrophy at all. However, when I brought this study up here on the channel, I had another protein researcher reassure me that protein synthesis does in fact predict hypertrophy, an idea I personally think is more supported by the literature overall. So while the jury is still out on the theory, I think what we really want to know is, will this high-frequency style of training get me more jacked?
It's the most important question.
And this is where it gets really interesting. In 2000,
if you're not getting jacked, what's the point of doing it, right?
In 2012, a group of Norwegian sports scientists conducted a secret frequency study that would come to be known as the infamous Norwegian Frequency Project. Now, because this study was originally designed to give their national powerlifting team a competitive edge, the results were never fully published, only presented at clandestine scientific conferences, with one dusty abstract making its way onto the internet. But despite all its secrecy, I still like this study because it used very highly trained lifters. So they split subjects into a group hitting their full body 3 days a week and a group hitting their full body 6 days a week. The rest of the program, including weekly volume, was exactly the same. And after 15 weeks of training, the 6-day per week group got nearly twice as big and strong, increasing their lifts by a total of 10% versus 5%, while also gaining significantly more muscle. Granted, while I do personally trust these authors
well,
and the
I guess
results,
that's your proof. Like, working full body 6 days a week will give you twice as much muscle. Like, literally twice as long. It's hours equal hours. It'll just take you a shorter period of time, right?
To build more muscle. That's correct. If you are a trained lifter.
Trained. So this is not recommended to any newbies.
No newbie should be training full body 5 days a week. But if you are a trained lifter, this could get you over that next plateau.
Because this data set was never published in a peer-reviewed journal, there is reason to be skeptical. So last year, a different team of researchers attempted to replicate this infamous Norwegian project, but this time they used early intermediate lifters and only ran the study for 6 weeks compared to the original 15. So perhaps it's not surprising that they didn't find much of anything, similar strength and size gains between the 3-day per week and 6-day per week program. But at worst, I think this study shows us that both frequencies can be effective.
I can imagine Andrew Tate calling this guy muscle nerd. It's like, I don't need to count how much I work out. I work out. I'm no muscle nerd.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, for any of the viewers, let us know what, if you are working out, what your current split is and how you're liking it. But yeah, this guy is pretty much the definition of a muscle nerd, and he has kind of the results to back it up.
Back it up? I mean, do we have anything else much to say about this guy?
No, I mean, we're kind of educating ourselves on the benefits of working out full body. So if you are a trained lifter and are doing a push-pull leg split, you might consider working full body high frequency and just see how that works for you. But yeah, anybody who's working out right now, let us know what you're up to. Should we keep going on Jeff Nippard or switch it up?
Switch it up? Well, the episode's only Jeff Nippard.
We can do more.
We can do more. Has he interacted with any other YouTubers? Like, let's do any collaborations. Like, let's see who this guy is talking to.
He does a bunch. No, they're normally with like sports scientist people. Not really like regular gym bros. They're mostly like scientists. But yeah, he does a lot of things. Now his girlfriend, named
that's how you know
Stephanie Buttermore.
That's how you know he's a success. He actually speaks to women.
So she actually had quite a controversial. She also has a fitness journey, and she had a very controversial transformation in the bodybuilding community. So she started out as a fitness YouTuber, super skinny, competed in physique shows, but she was really battling with crazy hunger pains. So what she did is she decided to just eat whatever she wanted for a full year, and she gained a ton of weight, and this caused a ton of controversy because everybody thought it was unhealthy, but she actually ended up kind of fixing her relationship with food, fixing her appetite, and kind of coming out better on the other side of it. But
I mean,
Greg Doucette definitely had something to say about this. I mean, he did. He made a video on this. But yeah.
He makes a video on everyone that like will get views, to be honest.
Pretty much. But yeah, as you can see, like she was super skinny before, and then she gained 42 pounds eating whatever she wanted. And now it kind of, she came out on the better side because of it. But
like if we want views, we'll be talking about Greg Doucette's newest video about Brantley G.
Pretty much.
Here's the problem, Stephanie. And this is where she's calling me out, because I'm the one that said she was obese. She's saying she's 24% body fat here. To be going body dysmorphia, and we're going to clear the air on exactly what I mean if somebody is obese or if they're lean and so on. I'm going to explicitly explain to you what healthy is. Explain what healthy isn't. Going to clear the air so that no one ever makes the mistake of saying that I am promoting unhealthy and unrealistic body images for both males and females. Anyone who watches my videos knows this, but those of you who don't, you might be under the misconception that I promote people who have an unhealthy or unrealistic body shape. I'm going to read what she's posted. Looking back, I've been every size and shape under the sun. Well, no, she hasn't. She's been a bikini-winning champion size, and she's been just barely obese, and now she's at her ideal health weight, her ideal healthy weight. She hasn't been morbidly obese. That is when you are so overweight, it's an endangerment to your health, okay?
So I'm curious. He called this physique slightly obese. It's a bold take.
That is a bold take.
That is a bold take indeed. I wouldn't say that, but yeah, that's what do you think about that before we get canceled, before we even begin?
I mean, it's definitely like higher in the body fat percentages.
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider her fat, but maybe medically standard, maybe she is overweight.
Yeah, but if you go like that BMI. But she's also super muscular.
Like, but if it was on like a dating standard, fuck, like, shit, okay. Like, that's just still fine.
We're done.
Where I have to suffer like that. It's not easy. So in the uncomfortable but significantly happier photo, she looks better than 95% of females. Most women
I sometimes just hate when people say females.
Females?
A female species.
So when she's like, oh, I can relate to everyone, easy to relate when you look freaking amazing. Stephanie was never morbidly obese. She can't relate to people who are 300 or 400 pounds. It would be like me saying, hey guys, I'm now comfortable with myself. You know I don't look so great, and I used to be shredded, but now, it's my off season, I'm comfortable. To be like, Coach Greg, you still have under 10% body fat, stop complaining, okay? That's the image I see here. I see her as looking amazing and saying, oh, I'm uncomfortable, but I gotta suck it up and accept my body. It's like your body looks amazing. That's what everyone is seeing when they see your body.
It's just like great complimenting her the whole time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fucking like, yeah, like it's like, if I went on a date with you, think blah, blah, blah,
right,
blah.
99.6% of the time. She's 24% in that picture. At her heaviest, she's 24%. And since her heaviest, she's currently lost, I believe it's 15 pounds.
So anyway.
Pretty good. So she went from...
Yeah, Jeff Nippard's girlfriend stirred up some controversy in the fitness community. That's for sure.
I don't understand how it's controversial.
No, baby, don't look fat, Greg.
My girlfriend is obese.
Pretty much.
I think that's a good point to end the episode off on.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, thank you to our few viewers for tuning in. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you want us to do next, what kind of content you want to see, anything like that. We're open to feedback.
I mean, yeah, like, what can we add to the stream? Do we need a new mic? I think we need a new mic.
Yeah, let us know how the audio is, because maybe
It's not
maybe we
great.
gotta start podcast mics, or I don't know what we need.
Podcast mics look like. We need a fresh and fit room and get a bunch of. I'm kidding.
Do we need a bunch of girls
No, do we need a
in a
bunch
podcast table? Do we need to kick them off the show? Do we need to become fresh and fit?
Do we need to become misogynist? What do you want?
What do you guys want from us?
Alright, I'll call it for this episode.